President Trump getting the band back together in PA. The Don delivering a nearly 2-hour campaign-style speech focused on affordability and making the full pitch for his economic agenda.
I have no higher priority than making America affordable again. Democrats talking about affordability is like Bonnie and Clyde preaching about public safety. Lower prices, bigger paychecks. We're getting inflation. We're crushing it. And you're getting much higher wages. I mean, the only thing that's really going up big, it's called the stock market and your 401ks.
President also veering off script to riff about Sleepy Joe, Ilhan Omar, and even yours truly, Jesse.
You know, they were talking about Greg Gutfeld. He's a very good guy. Greg Gutfeld, very good. Which is better, Sleepy Joe or Crooked Joe? He's a sleepy son of a, you know, who destroyed our country. If we didn't come along, and it's not me, it's all of us. If you don't share our values, contribute to our economy, and assimilate into our society, then we don't want you in our country. We don't want you. I mean, Ilhan Omar and the people from Somalia, they hate our country. I love her. She comes in, does nothing but she's always complaining.
And after saying zilch about the last guy, Democrats are itching to blame every economic headache on Trump.
I'll tell you, we used to say that a president can't impact the economy that much. Donald Trump has proven us wrong. He is destroying it right in front of our very eyes.
He didn't look well there. Brian, let's get you out of the way. What did you make of this? Was this like a return to form? He's back and taking no prisoners?
He did the weave. He did the weave. He was in and out of everything. They had the Gutfeld line in there. Not sure where it was going, but you didn't like him evidently in the beginning, and you like him a lot now. That's my takeaway. I thought he focused on the economy, but mostly it was about Gutfeld, since I know you missed a lot of the speech. A couple of things about Andy Bashir, what he just commented. Yeah. He said something outlandish. He said 72 hospitals have closed, rural hospitals have closed. And I thought, that's a little crazy. And I fired my staff earlier, so I did this research myself. It turns out there were 72, there were 30 that he says 30 have closed. There were 72 Kentucky hospitals, rural hospitals. 16 were listed at risk in 2023. 10 were immediate risk. And now in 2025, there was only 3 that closed, and it had nothing to do with Trump at all. So I'm not sure if he's queuing up for a presidential run, but not a strong start. With Trump, he was just saying he got it down. This is what he's got to repeat. The country was unaffordable when I took over, and I'm here to fix it. Because it was an awkward situation. You have to know Trump speak, and most of the country does. When he came out and says it's a hoax, he wasn't saying affordability is a hoax. He's saying affordability blamed on him as a hoax because he had nothing to do with the rescue package, nothing to do with the Inflation Reduction Act. He had nothing to do with the infrastructure deal. That's the money that ran it up, that gave us 9% inflation, and he's trying to get it down. He said maybe it's unrealistic to say he's going to get it down right away, but I sense he primed the pump in 25 to win big in 26. That's his bet.
Yeah, it is. I still find it incredible, Dana, that what drove inflation up was something called the Inflation Reduction Act.
Actually,
and we knew that.
Joe Manchin, who's the senator who wrote that bill, who's retired now, he was on America's Newsroom today, and he said, that wasn't really named very well. We should have called it the Energy Independence Act, because he talked about how much great stuff was in there for energy from his perspective. But I think that what Bashir said, he's governor of Kentucky, red state governor, Democrat, he's considered possible 2028 material. And for him to not be responsible enough to realize what he was saying, he said the quiet part out loud. He said, we used to say that a president can't impact the economy that much, but Donald Trump has proven us wrong. But that can't, if he believes that, then if he's actually being logical, he would say that he had to believe it under President Biden as well, and all the other presidents. If it only affects Trump, then I think that he sounds like a fool, unfortunately for him. I would also point out this. This is how you knew that the Democrats were always going to go after Trump on affordability, even though they turned a blind eye to Biden. On February 13th of this year, that was the 3 weeks after President Trump had been inaugurated, Hakeem Jeffries, Speaker of the House, goes out and says, I cannot believe egg prices are so high. This is outrageous. They are out of control. 3 weeks later, they never talked about eggs for 4 years. And all of a sudden they did that. So it is intellectually dishonest. I think President Trump getting out there and talking about it, is important. And I think maybe the best thing that he can do is to say what Brian said, which is that I heard you, I got you, we're working on it. You give me some time, because people don't expect you to fix things immediately overnight, the border being an exception, which is an amazing accomplishment. But on the economy, people, if they see that you have a plan and that you're leading them somewhere and you tell them that, they'll be willing to go along.
Mm-hmm. Jessica, you were nodding in agreement while Dana was talking.
Wow.
Oh,
Yes, it was amazing.
yeah.
Okay,
That's
what do you say about? I mean, Dana makes the point, which I think is the strongest one, is that you guys have no credibility because you never cared about affordability until your guy lost.
Yeah, so that's not really how this works.
Oh, really?
No.
Explain to me how it works.
Since you asked. No, well, it's a two-party system. People show up to vote, and they decide between those two options. And historically speaking, the midterms are going to go against the president. The question is, how big is that margin going to be? But Dana said, rightly so, that was what my nodding was, that Donald Trump, if he says, I got you, I'm working on it, that people can hear that and that can resonate. But the problem is that it's not one night, it's not 2 nights, it's like 320 nights that he's had to work on it. And he's put into place policies that are making it worse. And last night's rally, I understand it's all going to be chopped up, and that's how people are going to consume it. But it is basically an in-kind contribution to the Democrats. The midterm ads will be full of Donald Trump from last night saying, you can give up pencils. You don't need that many. You don't need $37 for your daughter. 2 or 3 is nice. So we're doing things right. Prices are going down. My favorite word is tariff. I just helped our farmers out because they're starting to do really well. The tariffs are making them rich. There is not a farmer that you could find to do an interview that is saying, I have been made rich because of Donald Trump's tariff policy. And last night, Democrats were also busy in Florida and in Georgia. So there's going to be a new mayor of Miami, Eileen Higgins, a Democrat, hasn't won there in decades. I know, before you say it, Brian, there was an independent who was in there in the early 2000s. Still, Kamala Harris won by 1 point, Miami County. She won by 19 points. We flipped another seat in Georgia. So far in 2025, Dems have flipped 25 GOP-held seats. The GOP have flipped 0. That is the story of what's going on here. So you can say people speak Trump, they love the weave. I get it. I never loved it, but I understand that people like it. What they like more is money in their pockets, and he's not delivering on that.
Again, it's like Bonnie and Clyde lecturing you on public
can't say
safety.
that forever.
But it's true. I mean, it's hard to take seriously.
I didn't even
You
talk
guys
about the
didn't
border.
care. Anyway,
Yeah.
Jesse.
No, you were right. I mean, they have no credibility at all on any domestic policy, and it's fresh in everyone's head. And they're running on fixing a problem they created, and they won't tell you how they're going to fix it. They don't have a plan to lower prices.
Repeal tariffs.
No one's running on that, Jessica.
Well, you should
Not a
try
single
it.
person. You haven't said it. No one's talking about revoking the trade deals. No one's even running on that, okay? And what did Jerome Powell say today? Jerome Powell came out and said inflation is moving down towards 2%. And they revised the growth projection for next year. And then they announced they're buying $40 billion in treasuries, and the market roared. It roared, Jessica. Next year is going to be insane. We're going to have multiple rate cuts. Housing costs are going to come down, and incomes are going to go up because the big, beautiful bill kicks in. That means no tax on tips, overtime, and Social Security. And that's when you get all the business tax cuts. Also, that's when all the foreign investment comes in. And so you're going to see these big AI centers sprout up. And next year, they're projecting to be the greatest economic year since the 80s. Now, will it be enough to save the Republicans in the midterms? Probably not. But that's okay. This is a long-term deal. You're going to lose the House. You may keep the Senate. I'll take that. But for the Democrats to come in after they raise tuition, after they raised health care costs with Obamacare, after they raised energy prices with the Green New scam and utility prices and gas prices, and then come in and say, oh, well, you know, the cost of living is high. You guys have nothing. You know you have nothing, and all you're relying on is the two-party system, that the fickle voter is just going to get sick of whoever's in power. You're going to put in the next party, and that's all you got. And what are you going to do with power? You're going to do nothing. Or you're going to do the same thing you did last time, which is open the border, spend trillions of dollars, and make prices go up again.
No, but that is an interesting point. Game it out. What if they did win back the House?
Yeah, what's your plan?
What would you do? You know what they would do? Launch impeachment. It would be impeachment.
Yeah, I don't think the House is lost. I think it's going to be how this year plays out. I think Trump's going to take it like he's president. There's going to be a convention this summer. He's going to go out and treat it the same exact way, try to gain momentum. And all you could be asked for is to be judged on your report card. The report card's going to be how the big, beautiful bill performs. And if it bombs, Democrats will have a field day, 63 seats, shellacking, everything. But if he begins to surge, that's what's going to matter, and he'll dominate the news cycle.
We haven't even talked about the wild card, which is healthcare in all of this. The GOP is scrambling to try to get something done. You have, which seems like reasonable voices, like Josh Hawley, saying that you absolutely have
your
to.
program.
It doesn't.
Your program
it doesn't
is
matter.
busting everyone's
guess what?
pocketbooks.
Your people are on it, and they're going to get a 400%
We're all on
increase.
it, Jessica.
You're
it's
not.
our people. It's our people.
It's
You guys
more
blew
of
up
your
the
voters
program.
than ours.
And they all stole from
Greg
it.
is telling you to be quiet.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.